Hey guys, so listen, I got a light right here, Y'all know I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all. It's a lot going down right now, all right? But as I'm navigating through my new office space, I still want to provide you guys with good and quality content, all right? But if you guys are liking the shorts, then you know, right? I did a media short recently where I told you guys that I would give you maybe like 5 tips on how to really prepare for an interview, all right? So I know a lot of y'all like, why are you so qualified to tell us how to prepare for an interview? Well, I'm gonna tell you how. I've been in entertainment, interviewing, red carpets, radio, just in hotels, blogging, all of that, y'all, for 10 years. Oh my God, it's been 10 years. I'm so super duper grateful. I have really discovered another part of myself in this space over the past decade. And so I'm super grateful. But that is also why I'm qualified to tell you guys or give you guys tips on what to do in order to excel. Because yes, I've been in here for a long time, but I've also made a lot of mistakes, all right? During this journey, I've also sat down with some really dope and amazing people, okay? And I say y'all, agents, publicists, managers, heads of A&Rs, so many people have commended me on my interviewing style, and so it is important that I now get back and share how and why I prepare the way that I do for an interview, okay? Tip number 1, okay? The first tip is do your research, all right? Research. I know some people be like, sometimes you can wing it. No, you can never wing it, okay? You can never wing it. Do your research, especially if you are just starting off in radio or whatever, just interviewing. So in order to sharpen your interviewing skills, you have to get some type of like routine down pat, all right? And so I would say number 1 would be do your research. We're going to use Mara Brock-Akil for an example because one day in this beautiful life of mine, I know that God is going to bless me with the opportunity to sit down and have a long drawn out chat with Mara Brock-Akil. So we'll use Mara Brock-Akil for an example, all right? So, hey, Kiara, what's up, y'all? You got Mara Brock-Akil tomorrow. Oh, really, tomorrow? Yes, girl, you already know I'm prepared. Bring her up on in through, baby. All right? So, boom, hang up the phone after that excitement that, oh, my God, I'm interviewing Mara Brock-Akil. Then I'm like, dang, I'm really interviewing Mara Brock-Akil tomorrow. Do my research. I go to Google, guys, type in Mara Brock-Akil. All of the articles for Mara Brock-Akil is going to pop up because that is the power of Google, all right? Then what I'll do is I'll read all of the interviews, articles for the past year, all right? Every single article that features Mara Brock-Akil, I'm reading up on it for the past year. I need to know where her mom been at. I need to know what project she put out. I need to know any jewels or gems she has dropped. I need to know everything, all right? So I'm reading every interview for the past year, okay? Then I'm heading over to YouTube. When I go to YouTube, I'm typing in Mara Brock-Akil interviews, all right? Boom. Every single interview is going to come up. I am going to then sit down and try to listen to every single, I would say, interview that stands out to me within the past 5 years, okay? May not be able to listen to all of them, but the ones, and you know within the first 5 to 10 minutes of an interview whether it's going to be a dope interview, all right? So I will listen to your top couple of interviews from the past 5 or 10 years, all right? Here's when the note-taking starts. You take notes on any open-ended answer. So let's just say the interviewer asks a question tomorrow, she answers it, and she leaves like a cliffhanger. Like there's more information I could get from that question, or, you know, she really shut down when it came to that. I would write it down, boop, jot it down, and that is one of the questions that you kind of want to dive into. Wherever there's a void, or there's somebody's being left to wonder about why this happened this way or what mind frame were you in at that time, I would ask that question, okay? So boom. After I do my research, which should take 24 hours, but if it's somebody big like Denzel, baby, I had to prepare for Denzel before. It could be 24 to 48 hours, okay? But I would just say for the purposes of this video, 24 hours. Once the research is done, then boom, you're on to step number 2, crafting your questions, all right? Now, if you have a sometimes good, sometimes bad memory like me, then crafting the questions is not always going to be easy, all right? So you want to do it it in a way in which you can remember, even if you guys go off on tangents. All right, so I like to create some type of like storyline in my brain. Okay, some type of storyline, a beginning, middle, and an end. All right, so I like to start at the beginning of life and or career, then that pivotal moment, like what happened in the beginning that was like pivotal, life changing. Then I want to go to the middle. All right, the middle is when she created girlfriends, when she did black lightning with her husband, all of that type of stuff. Then I want to focus. That's that middle ground. All right, and then there's that second pivot, that second life changing event that happened after the fact, that led to where she is now by creating Story 27 Productions and so many other things. All right, so just to recap, it's that beginning, it's that first pivot, it's that middle, it's that second pivot, it's that where she at right now. Okay, and then I always do 2 bonus questions, and the 2 bonus questions could be something that maybe your viewers or you have always wanted to know about the talent. All right, it should always be a total of 10 to 12 questions, understanding that in some cases you may be able to get through the 10 to 12 questions. In other cases, you may be able to get through a good 5 or 6, depending on the talent and how the interview is flowing. All right, I will say this, and this is a major key alert. I'm not joking, y'all, but it is a major key. Make sure during this interview that you are listening to listen and not to respond and or just to get your next question out, is what I'll say. All right, because I think something super duper important, or I'm not gonna say it's important, but something that is like major that I learned, and once I picked it up I kept doing it and people loved it, is they want to know that you actually care about what they got to say. They want to know that you actually heard the last thing that they said. And how do you hear the last thing that they say? If you then formulate a question on the spot that is that is direct correlation to what they just said. All right, so make sure that you are listening to their answers, because sometimes them little questions that you formulated in step number 2 is or we still in step number 2, that you formulated in this step isn't quite good enough. All right, and you can come up with a bomb question just by merely listening. All right, so step number 1 is do your research. Step number 2 is the fun, sometimes not so fun part, and that is formulating your questions. Step number 3, show up early. Okay, whether it's radio station or wherever, and let's just say that my interview with Mara is at 10 a.m. I am getting to wherever I need to be by 8:30. If that's a radio, then I'm getting there by 8:30. I'm making sure that my boards are running clearly. I'm making sure that the microphones are set up and I can hear them in the microphones, and I'm gonna sit at every single microphone and make sure that when I speak that it is coming through in the audio. I'm making sure that everything is clear, that the room that we're in is clean. Like I'm setting the space. All right, now if you are going to somewhere for an interview, I would still arrive that time with your crew. Make sure that the cameras are set up. Literally, when the talent arrives on set, all you are supposed to do is press play and go. Keep in mind that sometimes publicists will come in and they'll say, okay, Kiara, we got the whole 30 minutes, and then cool, I know for sure I'm getting through everything in 30 minutes. Or, hey, he or she doesn't have that much time. We ran over at the last spot, so we only got 10 to 15 minutes to dedicate to you. Then boom, you gotta be able to go. You gotta be able to navigate that quickly. Also, guys, when you do your research, when you are truly engaged, when you are really connecting with the talent, let's just say they are long-winded asking questions and you're like, oh, I gotta get you out of here because I know you have somewhere else to go. Sometimes they'll override the publicist and say, no, we can sit down. This is such a good interview. Let's keep it going. All right. So then that allotted 10 to 15 minutes is now, man, free reign, because the talent is saying, let's continue to go because I'm loving this interview so much. All right. And listen, all of that preparation beforehand, even coming into the studio space, wherever ahead of time, plays a part in creating such a dope atmosphere for your talent. All right. Number 4, have fun. Okay. Have fun with the talent. Okay, let your personality come through. All right, I know nerves is gonna take over. Okay, I've been in this spot. Nerves, they're gonna take over, but ultimately, man, just allow yourself to release and have fun. Make connections on deeper levels, man. I remember so many different times, especially when I had African American girl bosses come and I sit down with them like Kiki Palmer. I've been able to connect with so many different Terry J. Vaughn, just like so many different dope people, y'all, by literally just listening to listen, okay? And coming to the interview as myself. And then we start talking about mom stuff. We start talking about being entrepreneurs. We start talking about male-dominated industries. And I mean, it just makes the interview that much deeper. But if I was just caught up in my nerves or just stuck in my ways, I wouldn't have been able to release and ultimately just have fun during the interview. So the fourth tip is just show up as yourself, man, and just genuinely have fun, okay? Tip number 5 for preparing and just ultimately having a very, very great interview, guys, is to make sure that your footage or your interview is up within 24 hours, all right? Whether, I mean, if you got somebody on your team that's gonna get it done, get it done. But if not, man, learn every part of this thing, all right? So that you can create your own clips, even if it's just clips and not the full interview, your own clips to then put up and put out, all right? Because I'm gonna tell you something. If you do an interview on Friday and then it's next Friday and you just getting your clips to your talent or whatever, the likelihood of them wanting to promote it is just like, of course, sometimes they will, but sometimes they're like, man, that is so old news. I have done like 20 interviews since then, and I'm gonna post them. Get them out immediately so they know that, you know, you're just as anxious as they are to continue to elevate their brand and put out just like love and support or just whatever into content, into the world, all right? So make sure that you're putting out at least your some like social media clips, but if not, your whole full clip. I always give everybody on my team 24 to 48 hours. Really push for 24 for clips, but the whole interview should be on YouTube or whatever platform that you're using within 48 hours. It need to be up. And what I do, guys, as a courtesy, and sometimes they post, sometimes they won't, but as a courtesy, I send all of the clips to the talent and or their agents, publicists, managers, whomever, before I post it, just in case there's something that they want removed, all right? There have been cases where talent's like, can you clip that out and then we can do it? And I do it, and then the likelihood of them posting it goes up because she clipped out what I needed her to clip out, so now I can post this, all right? Versus you go ahead and just posting it without consent, and maybe you posted something that they didn't mean to say within the interview, and now they're not reposting it, and so there's no true alignment, engagement. People aren't really vibing out with it. So yeah, make sure as a courtesy that you send over your clips and or the full interview to their whole team prior to posting it. Then post it, and voila! I mean, the biggest thing for having a very successful interview is being respectful of not only your own time, but their time and everybody who's a part of their team's time, by preparing, by being on point, and by showing up as yourself, all right? If you do those things, plus so much more, y'all, I can give y'all like countless amounts of things. If you do those things, I promise you, you're going to have a successful interview, all right? Now, I know y'all like, Kiara, but how do you get to that point? Well, in another video, I'm going to show you guys how to truly pitch to talent. I haven't had to pitch to talent in like 7 years because of the relationships I built within the beginning of my career. That's the first 1 to 4 years. I built so many just like everlasting, genuine relationships that y'all, publicists, managers, agents, they just, whenever they're in town, they just, hey, Karen, we coming through with our talent, blah, 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 blah. So I haven't had to really pitch. But during that 1st to 3rd year or 4th year, I did have to pitch. And I'm going to show you guys the proper and respectful way to pitch for a talent in another video, all right? But again, if you like this content, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the page. Click on that bell so that you can be notified every time I drop any sort of video. And yeah, love, peace, and it's so much light on me right now. I look like pale. Bye.